Dude, don't he?
What the hell? This is dangerous. He actually like a powerful comic.
All right. What's going on, guys? You good? Well, let me make sure we got this. See the wife real quick. There we go. Cool. All right. So we got this video that we gotta react to. We gotta react to this. Need to react to this. What is racism? What is systemic racism? Now this dude, just look at him. Look, man.
Very powerful comic.
I don't even know what to say.
He almost got a million
Mr.
subscribers.
Beat, my boy got 919,000. He made this 3 days ago, and it just popped up in my feed. So
Hashtag Black Lives Matter.
racial justice, U.S. history, right? Okay.
It's
Okay.
All
All right, so we just gonna get right into this.
Happy Martin Luther King Day.
Oh yeah, happy Martin Luther King Day, by the way. This is perfect time. Happy MLK Day. Happy MLK Day. The commie.
News, baby. Okay, so how do we know systemic racism is real? First, remember that the goal for human beings is to survive and reproduce. This is more likely to happen if our needs are all met. We always hear about the starting line metaphor as if life is a race to see who is the fastest. You know, white people are at the starting line, but often people of color are way back behind the starting line, so they need extra help to get to the starting line. So
According to this white dude, we need help.
Okay, so this is like the this is just like what my cousin brought up when I had him over for the podcast, and he said that we saw the video of the kids starting the race. It was like 100 kids or whatever, and well, it wasn't 100 kids, but the kids were lined up and they were asking them questions about their family and growing up and what they had and basically their privilege. And they said if you answered yes to these questions, you step forward. If you answer no, step backwards or something. So they ask questions like, "Oh, step forward if you got $100,000 in your bank account or your savings account. If you got two parents in the house. If you are just the classic liberal questions."
They did that on Power. Remember? They were in college. Remember in the college class?
Right.
The exact same thing.
Right. Exactly. Right. So it's the same thing. They've been doing this to just visualize suppression and how black people are just so like disadvantaged that they need handouts. So, black people start in the back. So this is what this is.
So they have a chance to win the race. But that metaphor...
Also, life is not a race. If you competing with other people, if you competing in life, then you automatically losing. Because you need to be competing against the man in the mirror. But if you're comparing yourself to other people, then you ain't gonna never be satisfied.
Or assumes that life is a zero-sum game, that only one person can win the race. That's why I like my tree metaphor better. Imagine an apple tree that produces an infinite amount of apples. In this metaphor, getting those apples is the ultimate prize. The best thing ever. The thing that will make us happy. And... yeah, survive and reproduce. Now, we can't reach those apples. We have to work for them. We may have to climb that tree to get those apples. Or maybe we build a ladder to reach them. The point is, just like the day-to-day struggles of life, we have to work for those apples. But not all of us start from the ground. Some of us have to first climb out of a hole first to even get to the ground. Sometimes some of the people...
So he just said we're in the dirt.
Just because he's black, he's automatically disadvantaged.
That guy thinks he's better than us, for sure.
This guy, he speaks in a very matter-of-fact tone, as if he knows, like, yeah, I'm better off than you. That's why I gotta help you. It's okay, I got you. Like,
right.
He thinks he thinks he's better than us. He thinks he's better than black people.
This visual shows it. That's him saying.
People on the ground even kick dirt back in this
That
hole
was
on the
him.
people down there. Here are 6 examples of systemic racism. And notice how poverty underlies all of them.
Now, what he's going to do here is, like he said, the 6 examples of racism.
Systemic racism.
Okay, now, what the classic liberal tactic.
I actually switched from Chrome to Opera
The
GX.
classic liberal tactic is show a problem. This is the problem. It's the black people are in jail. They're disproportionately in jail. And then it shows like, it never shows how they got to jail. It just shows they're in jail. This is the problem. How are we going to solve this problem? And you start all the way back. Instead of fixing the immediate problem, instead of like fixing the dam, you're trying to stop the water flow. So you're going to try to go back, all the way back, instead of fixing the immediate hole in the wall. So they never explain how people end up in jail. They never explain how these people end up with no parents. They just say, oh, it's happening, and it's because of racism. How is it racism? It's never an answer there. Never.
A while ago, just because I was so tired of Chrome being the absurd resource hog that it is.
Like not believing the tooth fairy is real. And poverty. Here are 6 examples of systemic racism. And notice how poverty underlies all of them. The healthcare system has hurt people of color more than others.
What does that mean?
Hurt. That's so vague.
Hey.
Saying it hurt them by giving them more shots. Shots
So-
do hurt.
They always talk about how black women are at a higher chance of dying while giving birth.
Let him get to that point.
People of color are less likely to be in good health. The life expectancy for black men is more than 4 years less than that of white men. People of color are less likely to see a doctor. They are less likely to have good health insurance or health insurance at all. During the COVID-19 pandemic,
Whose fault is that?
people of color died from the virus at a higher rate than whites. People of color are less likely to be vaccinated. They are less likely to get treatment for mental illness. Black infants are
And all that is because these niggas don't have insurance. They're not going to the doctor because why would they? They ain't got no damn insurance. Why would they go get vaccinated and they ain't got no insurance?
Right. But the question he's posing is, why don't they have insurance? Because they're
niggas
poor.
don't want that shit.
Yeah, because they're poor.
Yeah, that's his reasoning, but I mean,
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Does black equal poor, sir?
Yeah, he just think that that we just can't afford it.
What they got to do with race?
Nothing.
are more than 2 times as likely to die as white infants. Black and Hispanic children are more than twice as likely to not have enough food to eat than white children. Black women are
What does that mean? How do you measure if somebody has enough food to eat? How do you measure that? That's hella vague.
3 to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women.
That's it.
That's it. Just a bunch of statistics,
And I'm gonna
but no
debunk
why.
that. Mortality rate with the hospitals is due to the fact that black women are the most obese, so they tend to have the worst health. So
Yep.
that's why there's more of them dying giving birth. It's just cause and effects. You're probably fat. You might have bad health. It is what it is. It ain't got nothing to do with your race.
Exactly.
The education system has hurt people of color more than others. Students of color generally have less educational opportunities. They generally do worse on standardized tests. They are less likely to graduate from high school or go to college. When they do go to college, the colleges are lower quality. Black college students owe around $7,000 more in student
Did he just say HBCUs are lower quality? A white man
I
saying
don't
it
know.
about
I don't know if
schools.
that's what he's saying, but he's
Sound
definitely
like it.
saying you're going to
That's the
community
schools
college.
that these people tend to want to go to. Black people, if you're not an athlete or nothing, most people just kind of default to HBCUs.
Wow.
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
It's cheaper.
loan debt than white college students. Students of color have less access to advanced classes. There's evidence that non-black teachers set lower expectations for black students. They are 54% less likely than white students to get recommended for gifted classes.
Okay, so he's saying that they're discriminated against in schools as if, you know, they're not just performing worse. Black people don't emphasize the importance of education. They're not taking it serious. How many?
Not all, but most.
Yeah, not all, but most. They're not taking it very serious. Like, my mom was very serious about education. Her mom was very serious about education. But you could tell that these kids that we was in class with, their parents don't care. They don't even care about it, because you can tell by the way that they act in school. And these people don't just grow up out of that. They act like that in elementary school, high school, then they get to college and be doing the exact same thing. But that's the school's fault. It doesn't make any sense.
Schools are highly segregated by skin color. Most schools where the majority are students of color are in the inner cities and slums. Because most public schools are funded primarily through property taxes, schools where the majority are students of color are often underfunded compared to majority white schools.
Right. So that goes back to the people not taking the education seriously. The schools get funded by the kids doing well. If the kids aren't doing well, the school won't get funded. You have a bunch of kids that's parents are not taking their education seriously, and these kids are going there and acting a damn fool. So when they not testing properly and they're not doing good on the scores on the ISAT and the ACT and the SAT and all that stuff, and the standardized test, their school's just not going to get funding because it's clearly not working. I went to it's not called John P. Allgale anymore, but I went to John P. Allgale, and they used to gloat about the fact that we was like the number 2 school in the city or something, number 2 elementary school or something in the city. And you could tell because a lot of people in there were smart. A lot of people were smart. Like, there was a lot of smart kids. It wasn't like you had fights every once in a while. It wasn't a whole lot of fights, but you could tell it was a good school. Then when I got to the other school that was supposed to be the magnet school with the science, technology, engineering, and math, those kids were just acting like animals. But this is supposed to be the better school. It just didn't make sense.
The employment system has hurt people of color more than others. Then again, a lot of this is related to the education system. People of color are more likely to be unemployed. They tend to get less job opportunities and worse benefits. In the United States, blacks earn 30% less than whites. The median household income of African Americans is about 1/8 that of the median household income of whites.
Right. So this is another
And it's because they're black. That's the craziest part. Like, sorry.
yeah, this is another false statistic. They compare the black household to the white household. The black household is 1/8 of the income in the white household because there's only one person in the household. There's only one working person in the household. Now, I've personally witnessed a house where everybody living in there with grandma. Grandma the only one that got money coming in. You got the uncles living there, they ain't got no jobs. You got the uncle's kids living there. You got the sons in there. Everybody living in there, not working, but grandma the one bringing in the money. And then that's opposed to a 2-parent household where both parents are working, where you see statistically more white people, more everybody are more married than black people. So the reason you're not making the money is because you only got one income versus 2.
Blacks are underrepresented in high-paying professions. On average, African-American entrepreneurs get $35,000 in loans to start a business versus the $107,000 that...
So they're not getting loans. What are the loans based off of?
Credit.
They're based off of credit. So if they're getting less in loans, it's because their credit is bad. That's what it is. It's not how does the creditors even know that you're black?
Oh, they know because of your name. That's not how banks run.
That's not how banks
want money. They don't really give a damn.
They want to give you the money so they can charge you interest and get it back. They want to give you money, but if you're not paying,
back, why would they give you money?
It doesn't make sense.
whites get. The housing system has hurt people of color more than others. People of color are much less likely to own a house and much more likely to spend a higher percentage of their income on rent. They have a harder time getting loans to buy homes. When they do get loans, they tend to pay higher interest rates. The black home ownership rate is 44%. For whites, it's 74%. People of color generally live in smaller homes.
Okay, so back on that.
Wow, he's just looking down on black people. It's like,
Yeah.
You live in a small house.
Yeah, look. So, can you please explain why these people are paying higher interest on home loans and stuff?
I already did. They're credited shit.
It's credit. Once again, it's credit. Nothing to do with skin color. It's credit.
They generally live in less safe neighborhoods, strongly related to the
like
fact
Chicago.
that these neighborhoods have concentrated poverty. Here in the United States, the political system has hurt people of color more than others. People of color have more obstacles to voting. In 2016, 1 out of every 13 African Americans couldn't vote due to a felony conviction, compared to 1 out of 56 white Americans. People of color are more likely to have to wait in line to vote. They are more likely to have trouble finding their polling location and finding a time to vote. They are less likely to have an ID to vote.
He really thinks so.
That
Score
all
deep
sounds like
discounts on
personal
overstock,
problems.
restock, and closeout items during Sweetwater's
Why did they
January
do
clearance
that?
sale.
Yeah, he thinks we're the ultimate victim. So
They
he's
can't get IDs. They can't take their ass to the DMV and get their ID.
so did he ever think about why? Like, he never explains why this stuff is happening. He's just saying, oh, they're less likely to do this. They're less likely to do this. They're more likely to do this. Like, why is that? Why?
Look at him. He's under the dirt.
All right, and he's sitting here burying a black man on video. Like,
Criminal justice.
what?
Criminal justice is burying y'all. It's all
As I already mentioned, the criminal justice system has hurt people of color more than others. There's no evidence whatsoever that people of color use or sell drugs at a higher rate than whites. Yet, they get arrested much more and
He said there's no evidence. What about all this damn music where all these niggas do is talk about drugs? What do you mean there's no evidence? You think it's openly talking about the drugs that they sell and consume? Openly.
This guy doesn't
Nigga.
know. This guy don't know what the
He's
hell
being
he's talking
dishonest.
about.
He's being dishonest.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, he knows exactly what he's talking about. And I realized that when he was watching this the first time. He knows exactly what he's talking about. He's just being dishonest. He clearly knows better. He's being dishonest. He's grifting.
then get harsher prison sentences. Black males get federal sentences around 20% longer than white males for the exact same crime. People of color are more likely to get stopped and frisked and harassed by police officers. In the United States, blacks are between 2 to 4 times more likely to be killed by police than white people.
And that is absolutely a lie.
What did he just pull out his ass?
He made that all the way up. Statistically, white people are getting shot and killed by police way more than black people. If anything, the number of unarmed blacks getting killed by the police is going down. That was a complete lie, and he knew it.
Blacks commit more crimes in the United States? Well, they get arrested more, is all we know. Keep in mind that the majority of arrests are drug-related. Now, do blacks commit more violent crimes? According to the data, yes. But that data is often insufficient and misleading.
What does that mean?
He doesn't elaborate. He just thought
Yes,
he was
but
He
that
thought
data
he was going to slide past with that. This is the FBI, so it's just
He said misleading.
misleading. So he's saying they're lying. He's saying, oh, they said that they do kill more, but they could be lying.
data is often insufficient and misleading. Also, folks conveniently leave out the fact that most of that is due to gang violence, and gang violence is rooted in, you guessed it, poverty.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
So he's saying if you're poor, you're going to be in a gang.
Right. So, do poor white people join gangs? Do they got gangs
Like
running
them
around?
hillbilly people, they in the KKK.
They-
That's they gangs. That's what niggas was saying anyway. No, they're not in gangs. Niggas are known for being in gangs.
Yeah,
Hispanics.
they're notorious.
People, it depends on your culture.
Yeah, it's a
Are
culture
these niggas
thing.
in the slums of India in gangs? Are they? I don't know. They
No.
might be.
No, I don't think so. They all in the same boat together. What they beefing for? And but he's saying that because you're poor, you're gonna be in the game. Clown.
Excuses.
Being in poverty is perhaps the strongest predictor of whether or not someone will commit a crime.
No, it's not. It's single parent, single mother, fatherlessness. That's the biggest determining factor, not poverty.
Just because you're poor doesn't mean you have the authority to commit crime.
Yeah,
what he's implying.
yeah. These people live in Robin Hood world. They think you can steal from the rich and give to the poor, but these people are stealing from the rich and keeping it for themselves. They robbing the other poor people. Everybody around here poor, but you still getting robbed because they want what you got. It don't matter if you poor or not. They gonna do what they do regardless.
You see, desperate people often resort to desperate measures in order to survive.
Disparities do not mean systemic racism. Disparities mean disparities.
But what caused
Right. Then he gonna pull up a clip of Larry Elder.
Right. Thinking he'll never be able to debate Larry Elder. Larry Elder will
Eat that man up and spit him out. He gonna pull up Larry Elder, and you still lying? Amazing.
those disparities?
A black married man has the same unemployment rate as do whites. What is stopping a black person from going to a college or university?
Poverty?
The things that you mentioned are disparities.
No, that's actually the opposite. That's actually the opposite. If you are poor, because I grew up poor, you get the most in financial aid if you're poor. You get the most, and then you're more eligible to get more scholarships. You get scholarships just for being black.
Right, because I didn't get certain grants and scholarships because my parents made too much money according to FAFSA. The people who was single moms or, whatever, were getting more money than me.
Yep. And they talk about crime and poverty. If you committed crime as a kid and you in a juvenile detention center, there are resources within the juvenile detention center. You can get scholarships by being in the detention center. There are scholarships for everything. There is no reason to not go to college unless you don't want to go to college. It has nothing to do with your circumstances. You just don't want to go. And this dude is sitting here saying, oh, because you're poor and you're black, you can't go. Oh, because you're black, you're automatically poor and you're automatically not going to be able to go to college. This dude is full of crap.
And racist.
Tell me how these disparities are because of racism.
Poverty.
You mentioned mortgage applications. It is true that blacks are turned down at a higher rate for mortgages than whites. It's also true that Asians are turned down less often than whites. How do you explain that?
Generational poverty caused by systemic racism. Again,
That's not explaining
That
it.
didn't explain anything.
That didn't explain anything.
He just really thought he was gonna be able to get away.
Right.
He should have that part out.
This is what liberals do. They just say a bunch of stuff. Like when I was talking to my cousin, he just said, oh, racism, discrimination, black and white water fountains, educate. Like, how is it working? Not what's happening. I'm not saying that this stuff didn't happen, but you're not making any links to anything. You're not breaking it down. You're not giving any steps. Show me steps. Make it make sense. You're just throwing shit out there and seeing what sticks. This dude is a clown. I want to play that back. He just said it so confidently. He's so
a black married man has the same unemployment rate as do whites. What is stopping a black person from going to a college or university?
Poverty?
The things that you mentioned are disparities. Tell me how these disparities are because of racism.
Poverty.
You mentioned mortgage applications. It is true that blacks are turned down at a higher rate for mortgages than whites. It's also true that Asians are turned down less often than whites. How do you explain that?
Generational poverty caused by systemic racism.
Generational poverty caused by systemic racism.
What does that even mean?
That don't mean shit.
Generational poverty caused by
Okay, so you were poor for generations
because of
of
all these things.
Because of
What
systemic
does that have to do with
racism.
Asian people though? He didn't answer his question. He simply didn't answer his question.
He
Like,
just
that
threw
actually
words out there.
wasn't a response.
Just threw
He should have cut
talking
that
points
out
out
because he
there.
just looks like a complete fool. That guy is a fraud.
Yeah,
I can't believe he has almost 1 million
No,
followers.
I can't believe it because
Subscribers.
he's saying what niggas want to hear.
He's spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
They'll fact check something I post.
Yep.
But this guy is literally lying.
This
is a lie.
This guy is a white supremacist. He believes white people are superior. Now, pay
100%.
attention. He's literally saying white people are superior because they have these things. They have these better economic advantages, and because you're black, you don't. You are inferior. Did you remember the little man that he had? The little man is in the ground. Look at him. The little man is in the ground.
That's you, nigga.
That's you. That's you. He thinks he's better than you.
Pathetic.
Again, poverty underlies all of these. And yeah, we must recognize that there's a lot of white folks in poverty as well, including much of my own family. This is why I think the term white privilege does more harm than good, raising awareness about systemic racism as it tends to downplay the experiences of poor white folks. In reality, we could just as easily call it wealth privilege instead of white privilege.
I like how we show in Chicago for the white privilege.
Exactly. Now, so this part right here, this is how I knew that he knows better. Because he said it's not white privilege, it's wealth privilege. Anybody can be wealthy. So he says that, but still say, oh, well, because you're black, you're more likely to be having these things. You're more likely to be disadvantaged. And because you're white, you're more likely to be in a better off situation. But that doesn't make sense. It's not a race thing. You're saying it's a wealth privilege, but then you're making it about race. This dude is
systemic racism as
full
it
of
tends
it, bro.
to downplay the experiences of poor white folks. In reality, we could just as easily call it wealth privilege instead of white privilege.
You know better.
So what caused these 6 examples of systemic racism? The momentum of history. In the early
Momentum of history. That literally, this guy.
What?
He can work.
What? The momentum of history.
early years of the United States, millions of African Americans were enslaved. Even those who were, quote, free, were heavily discriminated against. Many forget that Europeans initially enslaved Native Americans. At least hundreds of thousands were driven off their lands. Tens of thousands died in wars and massacres. After slavery ended, governments across the country passed laws that treated African Americans as second-class citizens, stripping them of the same opportunities others had. Meanwhile, the United States government forced Native Americans onto mainly communal reservations. Individuals rarely had property rights. They couldn't own land. This eventually made it difficult for them to establish credit and borrow money. While the Dawes Act of 1880
See, so he want to talk about how they couldn't establish credit. They didn't want to establish credit because they wanted to do their own thing. That's perfectly fine. They didn't have to integrate. But why is that a bad thing? Why is it a bad thing that they couldn't establish credit? They could establish credit. They didn't want to. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to, because why would they? What they had was probably working out for them fine.
1887 let most Native Americans own property. It also gave away nearly 2/3 of all Native American land. Holy crap! And allowed rich developers to buy most of the most productive land. Not only that, developers often tricked many Native Americans into selling their land, leaving many of them homeless. The Dawes Act also caused many tribes to lose their culture by shipping their children to boarding schools. Oh, and Native Americans couldn't vote. Even
Right, so why did they force them to ship them kids to boarding school?
No, they
Were
chose.
They chose. It seems like they were like, well, look, this American thing seems seeming pretty good. I want this for you. Go here, get Americanized, and do what you do. Be great. I'm sending my kids to boarding school. That's why
you have the right to do that. That's their
right.
choice.
They clearly did it because they want to. They wasn't forced.
after the passage of the Indian Citizenship Act of
God.
1924, whites prevented Native Americans from voting in other sneaky ways. African Americans could vote, but they often first had to jump through some hoops to do so. They had to pay poll taxes, take ridiculously difficult tests, or
right.
Ridiculously difficult
right.
tests.
You Negroes are too dumb to pass the test. You're too dumb to learn. That's what he's saying. These people, you could educate yourself. If you couldn't vote this time, educate yourself for the next time. Just and it's literally as simple as that. We got
If
it.
you want to, you will.
Because think about it. Today, we have the most access to information ever. This is the age of information. We have the most access. And people are still illiterate. They're still dumb. They still don't know what they're talking about. They still can't read, write, or comprehend. They can't even read cursive no more. But the people, the blacks back in the day, they had ambition. They wanted to do it. So they literally, what happened? They got literate. And now you see black people popping up in Congress and the Senate. And they were taking office because they were educating themselves and they were learning what it meant to be American. So it had nothing to do with they couldn't pass hard tests. He think these niggas is stupid.
He thinks we're stupid.
He think they're stupid. He think because they can't pass a test this time, they're just, oh, well, it's too hard for them. It's too hard for them.
Face intimidation from white supremacist groups like the Ku Klux Klan. Because of this, no African Americans served in Congress between the years 1901 to 1928, despite being between 10 to 12% of the total population at the time. That was also the time when the majority of Confederate statues went up, by the way. A pretty horrific time to be a person of color in America. And that's also
Jesse
when
didn't
racial
think so.
violence peaked.
Jesse said he
Race
was chilling.
riots. Most infamously,
Right.
the
Jesse Lee Peterson is we watch him a lot, and he constantly talks about growing up under Jim Crow segregation in the South and
Black
saying
man.
how black guy, it says like it wasn't bothering them as much as they making it seem. They were living their own life. If they didn't want you in their stuff, don't go in their stuff. But you want to go in their stuff so bad that you willing to get beat up for it, and then you're gonna go and run to the news or the NAACP to get their business shut down. It's the same thing niggas doing today. It's the same thing. Don't go where you not wanted. If they don't want you there, then don't go.
We had our own stuff.
Right. You
Niggas
had
was content. They wasn't even worried about other people.
right. You worried about other people. These white people live in y'all head rent free. Today.
Tulsa Race Massacre. Thousands
Tulsa Race Massacre.
Favorite thing for people to
Favorite thing for people to bring up. They rebuilt it and it's back bigger and better. They got knocked down and got back up. Leave it alone. It's dead. The past is dead.
of African Americans got lynched. Typically how it went down was something bad would happen to a white person, a black person, usually a black man, would get blamed, a mob would kidnap the person blamed, and finally publicly execute them. If you never learned any of this
Black
in
people were not the
school,
only people getting hung.
this is the part of
They were also hanging white people who supported black people. You know,
the video where you probably just need to stop and ask yourself, why?
Please.
Why was I never taught this stuff?
Oh,
And
no,
then
I
there
thought
was
you were
housing
actually gonna explain
discrimination.
something.
And this was a big one. First of all, it's important to understand the importance of generational wealth. Generational wealth is the passing of wealth down from one generation to the next. Most of it is passed down after a family member dies in the form of an inheritance. Often it's through real estate, and the most common form of real estate passed down is a house. Generational wealth is also passed down in the
What type
form
of
of
real estate is
support
there?
of a child as they grow up, especially
Yes,
with their
buildings.
educational endeavors. According to one analysis by Lending Tree, it costs
Annual cost to raise a small child increased by 19.3% nationwide to 21,681 between 2016 and 2021.
I'm skimming the article. It says from food, apparel to transportation and childcare. Okay. Costs went up because inflation.
Yeah. Okay.
on average around $237,000 for American parents to raise one child. Woo!
You
What is
niggas don't
that?
need to pay that much to raise
Right?
somebody.
That's
These people
crazy.
be putting their kids in daycare, the most expensive daycares they can fucking find, and having nannies and stuff. Talking about transportation, apparel, they buying their kids all this crap they don't need to wear. Like we was talking about the other day when people buy all the baby clothes like they kids can't even fit.
Right, you buy all these baby clothes your kid
Wasting
can grow
money.
out of.
And food, what y'all buying?
Right.
According to the economist Thomas Piketty, most wealth, more than 70% of it, is inherited, not earned.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be wealth if it wasn't
Inherited.
yeah.
That's the difference between wealth and income.
Right. If you rich, you can die with your riches. Wealth is passed down. Wealth is more than rich.
What's the point?
Other economists dispute how he came up with that figure, but the fact remains that probably at least half of all wealth in the world is indeed inherited. Not only that,
That's
our
a
wealth
white belt.
today can
Wealth
be
is
traced
only a
back
white thing.
hundreds of years. But most African Americans and Native Americans only began accumulating wealth within the past few decades. I already mentioned
Okay.
Native Americans struggling
What does
due
that
to
mean?
not being
That means
able to
what is
own
he saying? He's trying to imply that we haven't been free enough to have generational wealth. We've been free for
Right.
how long? Like,
Right.
it's 2024. I think I said 2023. It's 2024. It's been a long time.
Yep.
It's been a long time. It's been at least 80 years. That's enough.
You could literally
To have
make
a generation
you
or
can
two.
make a Fortune 500 company in a couple of years. You could be a millionaire in a couple of years. That's the beauty of America. And if you still making excuses, then it ain't nothing else to be done for you.
I mean, my dad technically passed the house down to us.
Right.
He passed, so I inherited some wealth.
Right. My
Didn't take that long.
grandma passed her house down to her son, to my uncle. He now just has a house. He has the house. That's passed down. Like, granted, not everybody's fortunate enough to have it, but
That ain't got
that
to
is
do
a
with your
personal
race.
thing. If you are not doing that, then somebody messed up. It ain't got nothing to do with no obstacles that the white people put in front of you. That's BS.
private property. But African Americans, more often than not, also got screwed. Between the Civil War and the 1980s, the US federal government gave nearly 3 million people of European ancestry free land. Okay, well, but sure, African Americans got some of that free land too. Heck,
They gave white people free land. They gave some black people land too, but they didn't give them as much to the white people. Come on now.
Now we comparing.
Right, comparing meat sizes.
by 1910, more African Americans owned land than at any time before or since. Yep.
So what's
Black
the fu-
ownership peaked in 1910.
So what happened?
It's been on the decline ever since.
What
As
happened?
farming declined, blacks moved to the cities, where they often faced obstacles to
So they moved, so
buying
they left.
homes.
What happened?
They were
What
They
happened?
left. They went to the city. Niggas wants to go to the city instead of being farmers.
often
They
not allowed
left.
to live in
They went to
nicer
live
white
in the projects.
obstacles to buying
Oh, Lord.
homes. They were often not allowed to live in nicer, whites-only neighborhoods. One of the most famous early suburban housing developments, Levittown,
Oh no, I'm sorry. This looks interesting.
Debunking
Debunking a
a
PragerU
PragerU
video.
about interracial
Sure.
explicitly refused to sell homes to, quote, non-whites. Even the federal government got in on the racist housing policy. During the Great Depression, which at the time caused more than half of all African Americans to become unemployed, the United States Congress passed
Everybody, not just black people.
He wants to hyper focus on black people because they're the topic of today.
two
Systemic
laws
racism
that
is
made
only about
housing
black
more
people.
affordable
Notice
to
how
Americans.
this title says nothing about black people, but his entire video is about black people.
Right.
Interesting. So what about every other race that's here? What about where are the Asians and the Mexicans mentioned in this?
He mentioned
even
he mentioned the Mexicans a little bit. He
Indians
mentioned
a
the
little bit. He'll
Indians
swing
a little
with
bit.
some other people, but right now it's mostly about the girls.
But what about the whites that came from Europe? Like, they are immigrants too.
Oh,
Like,
they don't count.
what about the Italians, the Scottish, the English? Like, anybody but American whites. But you're not talking about them because they just get a pass because they white. That don't make sense, man.
Americans. But ultimately, most people of color didn't benefit from these laws. Not only that, they led to further segregation, often pushing people of color into public housing slums.
How'd they
Then
push
there
them?
was
It was nice. They
redlining.
never
See the
showed.
areas on this
At
map
first.
highlighted in red? Those were the, quote, risky homes. Banks didn't loan money to the folks in those homes. Insurance companies charged ridiculously high interest rates to the folks in those homes. The folks in those homes tended to be, you guessed it, black.
Now,
What's the
Wha-
correlation
now-
between black people and risky loaning?
one more time. What is it?
Your credit.
It's
You
credit.
niggas is not paying your bills.
You're not paying your bills. You're
I
not.
worked at Rent a Center. These niggas was stealing shit,
Yep.
and they didn't care. They would curse you out for calling about your money.
Yes, exactly. So why would I loan you money if you got a bad bad credit history. Doesn't make sense.
Developers used eminent domain, or the government taking private property for public use, to kick blacks out of their homes. One big example of this was the federal government building interstate highways and splitting black neighborhoods. Most of the laws discriminating against African Americans enforced racial segregation, establishing separate institutions, places, and services for blacks and whites. The United States Supreme Court even upheld racial segregation in the case Plessy v. Ferguson, so long as those institutions, places, and services were, quote, separate but equal. Well, spoiler alert, they were not. 58 years later, the Supreme Court redeemed itself by ruling that racial segregation was, quote, inherently unequal in the famous decision Brown versus the Board of Education. The Brown decision was part of the much bigger civil rights movement, which I mentioned earlier. In addition to desegregation, the civil rights movement saw laws getting rid of all discrimination and obstacles to voting for people of color. Heck, there was even a law that mostly got rid of housing discrimination. Double heck! All of the major reforms of the 1960s and 1970s saw progress not just for African Americans and Native Americans, but additionally Hispanics, Latinos, women, those with disabilities,
Wait, go back. Go back to the women. I want to see if
but
they had
additionally
anything about,
Hispanics,
killing kids on there.
Latinos, women.
Let's see. We demand equality. Oh, what? Free abortion on demand. Yeah. So, slip that in there right quick. You can't mention women's rights without talking about slaughtering babies. I mean, go hand in hand. That's what these bitches are good for.
Those with disabilities, and even homosexuals. And they all lived happily ever after. Except that they didn't. While most people of color have made...
This white dude pulling up all these clips of these black people looking sad and stuff. It's something about it just rubbing me the wrong way.
It should.
It's rubbing me the wrong way. I don't know. It's
Whose
pity.
grandma is this?
It's pity.
Tremendous progress
your grandma
in
being
recent
used.
decades.
Right,
Overall, they still can't seem to escape
Grandma just
the
minding her
momentum
business.
of the
She not even
past.
sad.
Plus, while the laws and courts were mostly on the side of people of color, racists found ways around the laws and courts to still make people of color second-class citizens. The Nixon administration started the war on drugs, for example, which made pretty much all recreational drugs except alcohol and nicotine illegal. Yep, including marijuana. Folks caught with...
No, not marijuana. Black people are gonna be so discriminated against. It's illegal. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is.
I mean, they legalizing it now.
Right, it's legal
So,
now.
the problem.
It's legal now.
In some places.
So it is what it is. It's illegal. I'm sorry that you stuck on it, but it's
I'm
illegal.
sorry that she was selling
Just
marijuana when it was a big
often
crime.
faced serious prison
30 years
time
ago.
that ruined their lives. The war on
Yeah,
drugs
because they
disproportionately
chose to
targeted
sell
people of
weed.
color. The Reagan administration took it up a notch, ultimately leading to the United States locking up more people than any other country in the world. Reagan signed the Anti-Drug Act of 1986, which created a minimum prison sentence of 10 years for anyone found distributing 50 grams of crack cocaine or 5,000 grams of powder cocaine. Why just 50 grams of crack cocaine versus the 5,000 of powder cocaine? Well, because it was mostly people of color, poor people in the slums that were the ones doing crack cocaine
Poor people
because it
in
was
the slums.
cheaper than powdered cocaine.
You know,
Rich people.
The girls in the slums. That's us. We're in the slums. This guy.
Bro, you got more time for crack because crack is stepped on.
Crack is
It
whack.
is not cocaine anymore. Crack cocaine, you can put cocaine in the crack, but you can't put crack in the cocaine. It's gonna make it crack. It's stepped on. It's different drugs. You got higher for faster for cheaper,
And you get hooked.
and you get hooked. Cocaine. Oh, I ain't never did crack or cocaine, but it's clearly different. They look different. The forms is different. Anybody that took chemistry knows that when you change the chemical makeup of something, it's a completely different thing.
Especially with drugs.
It's completely different. Once you heat up something, it's different. Once you add other stuff to it and get the mixing and add water, it's different.
You can do cocaine and be good the next day, for the most part. But if you do crack, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, it's your brain scrambled eggs.
People were doing powdered cocaine just as much as the poor people were doing crack cocaine.
Wait,
What did you say?
cocaine. Rich people were doing powder cocaine just as much as the poor people were doing crack cocaine. They're all doing cocaine, but you know, they had to get the poor people. They had to put the poor people and the people of color in prison.
Poor people and people of color.
See, they're synonymous. Poor and black is synonymous.
Look at him.
Smug.
Staring.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this guy's a clown, man. I think
Are you
I
a
think that's
STEM?
it. I'm done watching this. Yeah, this dude.
He has so many videos.
Yeah, man, this dude's a clown. What's going on, man?
Hello.
Double C, you see you, my boy.
400.
Yeah, this guy's a clown, man. He's so disingenuous, so dishonest that anybody with eyes can see that he's full of crap. Let's just have him up on the screen right here. Yeah, he's basically just making excuses for people that got cooked. Like if you broke the law and you got cooked for it, unfortunately,
If you can't do the crime, don't do the crime.
simple as that.
That's
And you
SpongeBob.
trying to say that because white people did cocaine, you know, they just wasn't getting booked for it? It's illegal. It's illegal. Illegal is illegal. Now, everybody knows that they did put coke in the hood. They put cocaine in the hood. You turned it into crack. You did it. They didn't give you crack because think about it. If they gave you crack in that form, then how was you making more crack? They gave you cocaine and you added stuff to it to stretch the product. It's the same thing as adding fentanyl to other drugs to stretch the product. It's once you start adding stuff to it, it's not the same thing. It's different. But they love talking about crack in the 80s. That's they end all be all because black people just had to smoke crack. They just couldn't help themselves. They was just so hooked on crack. They would have died if they didn't have crack. This is what they think about you. They think that you are just so weak that you have to smoke crack. You have to steal. You have to sell drugs. You have to kill other people. You gotta rob somebody. You can't help yourself. You born into poverty.
Just stupid little monkey. And it's gonna be niggas trying to justify this. They like when white people talk for them like this though.
Yeah.
They want this. Yeah, I am my friends. I'm my friends.
Right.
That man hold me
Like,
down.
as-
That man better than me.
As a black man, you don't find it weird that a white man is telling you that you ain't shit and you ain't gonna never be shit because you black. So in order for you to be shit, he gotta give you what he got. That don't raise some red flags in your head.
LOL.
That don't sound off some alarms or something. It don't. If a white man was sitting here telling me like this, if the white man came and was talking to me like this, like he came to our school and was like, yeah, so because you're black and because, you know, people that look like me discriminate against people like you, you know, you're just not going to be successful in what you want to do. I'd be looking at him like, so what makes you different? You telling me all this stuff. So where do we go? Where do we go from here?
You go in the dirt.
Right. He had the man just getting systemically broken down in the dirt. He was 6 feet under. This man's just look at the optics. This man is telling you that you ain't shit while having a visual representation of a black man being put in the dirt. This is what they think about you.
I'm trying to tell you.
This is what they think about you. You can't trust these liberals, bro. And he's probably the one that's like, oh, I don't do both sides. I don't pick a side. But you're not talking about the Democrats. You mentioned all that stuff from history and yet didn't once bring up that it was the Democrats that did it. These people can't be trusted.
They can't. And this type of these type of videos are very dangerous. They get passed around. These type of videos they would have showed me in high school.
Yep.
They would have had me watching this legitimately, taking him serious.
Yep. Got this white man schooling you on your own history, boy.
Oh, wow.
He tell you what to believe.
He ain't even making sense.
Right, the man ain't give you no details. Just listed off a bunch of stuff that we already knew. They taught us this a million times in school. Ain't nothing new. Black folks gonna get a rude awakening. They gonna wake up one day. Hopefully it's not too late. But you know, fingers crossed for you. Hopefully y'all wake up and, you know, if you were born into poverty, you were born into a racist system, you were born into X, Y, and Z. That's why you gotta be born again. Simple as that. You were born gay, you gotta be born again. You were born black, you gotta be born again. That's what it is. So until you realize that, you're gonna forever be in poverty. You're gonna forever be oppressed. You're gonna forever be in this constant state of fight or flight. So that is what it is. Take it from this white man. Take it straight from the horse's mouth. He said they're doing it to you. He said they are.
He not yo.
He's so serious. Look at him. This guy is serious. Serious as hell. But that's all I got for this video. Just wanted to shed some light on the wolves in sheep's clothing. This is clearly a wolf in sheep's clothing. He just sit there and tell you a whole bunch of stuff,
And
no
he got
details.
merch.
Yeah, he got merch and stuff. Give me money. Yeah. This is what. Yeah. Let's look at the comments real quick. Hold on. Jeez,
I
I
feel
feel.
exhausted trying to explain systemic racism to naysayers who are close to me. This video is a great resource to recommend. That's what I'm talking about. They gonna pass this crap around for anyone looking. My mom gonna send me this. Click on his profile picture.
Actually, you the racist.
Right. A clown.
Oh yeah.
And
He's
this dude
popular.
got 4.16 million
Yep.
followers.
He's popular.
But he's oppressed, right?
Right. Oh, and these people, these folks ain't no better. The blacks that tell you this stuff ain't no better because they're basically saying
You know, white
these
people
are the
also
obstacles are in front of you. All of these obstacles are gonna stop you from succeeding. I got lucky. But you're not gonna do it. You can't do it.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Right.
Sir?
You can't do it, but I
David.
did it already. I'm telling you that you can't do it. BS. Look at some more comments.
These comments is
Oh,
long.
this is a pastor.
I really enjoyed this video. As an African American black man who leads a ministry at my church about race relationships, this is the type of video people need to hear. It's hard for me telling my white friends systemic racism has been going on since this country began and it still goes on. Thanks, Mr. Beat. Click on his profile.
Oh. Get bodied. Come on now. Let's go. I wish I could love a comment. Hold on. I want to read this. Respect is the way, not Jesus.
Click on his profile picture.
This guy?
Yes. Let's see what he looks like. Ah,
Right.
a pastor. Typical black pastor.
Oh my goodness. Look, this is.
So he doesn't believe that he could do all things through Christ. He doesn't think that. He thinks that Christ could help him, but he can't help him with white supremacy. Christ can't help him with that. That doesn't count. That's gonna always be a thing, according to that guy.
What? This
Go to the newest
Republican.
comment.
This Republican is just. Oh my goodness. You said go to the what?
Newest. Excellent video, Mr. B. I went to several schools similar to the one you subbed at in Kansas City. Here in the urban areas of Northern California, I've seen many of the things you talked about firsthand. I'm Hispanic and I went to a school where the majority of the kids were Hispanic. Okay, but white privilege is still a thing even if you're poor. You're far more likely to walk away from a police encounter with your life, even after committing mass murder when you're white, than you are if you're black. If walking away with your life isn't considered a privilege, then I don't know what is.
If you think keeping your life is a privilege, then you are in hell.
It's always an imaginary circumstance.
You are in hell.
If you are white and you are poor, you're definitely a failure because the system supports you. I believe it's your choice to be poor and you're just a failure. Wow. They don't even like that little thing you said about white privilege because he had to commit all the way. They basically looking at him like a Republican because of what he said about white privilege. That's crazy. That's how these communists operate, though.
Yep.
They don't even
They
want-
will eat you alive. Oh, look, okay. I still feel like this could have been boiled down to a statement rather than a long list of facts that point in a general direction. Part of educating people is leaving them in a state where if you ask them a question, they could give an answer. Well, I agree with most, if not all, of this video. I still can't say I could personally answer this question. What is systemic racism? Or at least if there was a moment where it was laid out plainly and most importantly, concisely, it was blink and you miss it moment. It was a blink and you miss it moment. Something of that important should not be on par with the LGB moment. What?
Bro, just start reading this.
What? Yeah, see, so this guy,
He's not satisfied.
he's not satisfied. He even points out the fact that the dude didn't lay out any details. This is exactly what he did. He just started throwing shit at the wall, seeing what sticks. And it's not any substance. It's no real substance.
He can't answer the question, what is systemic racism? Because there's no answer. The shit doesn't exist.
Exactly.
He's looking for an answer. There is no answer.
Right. There is no answer to something that doesn't exist.
There is no answer. There is no system. There isn't one.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole 38-minute video was just a waste of time.
Nope. Nope. As in racist, this video is so funny. You just ignore a few things here and there all the time to get your point across. And this is in racist saying this. Clearly did not watch or understand the video.
Shut up, trans
Shut up.
Kitty 69.
Right, look at this. Look, come on, trans emo kitty.
Shut up.
The jokes write themselves. Watching these on MLK B-Day. Is this his birthday or is it his day?
Wait, Google that. Is it his birthday? Or I thought it was his Martin Luther King Day. If it's his birthday, I'm stupid. Oh, it is.
Oh, it is his birthday. Okay.
Oh, right.
Well, we don't know. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh my goodness.
These comments are too long. I'm not going to read these paragraphs.
I got a question for you. When you say the single motherhood crisis is due to poverty and not culture or something, what do you mean by that? Like, how is some man leaving his wife or girlfriend due to poverty and not because he doesn't want to be afraid or take responsibility for? Oof.
Poor people are more desperate, commit more crimes, and then are arrested. And if that person is a father of the home because of single mother household.
This is what they think about you. This is what they think about you. They're saying it.
So they say we're desperate criminals who can't even pull it together for the sake of our families. We're just so stupid.
Wow.
Brainless monkeys. We're dumber than monkeys. Just mud.
It's the same dude going through comments and all these comments.
Of course.
Let me just start disliking this shit. Because he needs to know. He needs to know. I'm sorry. Guys, I hope you're enjoying us reading these comments. This is ridiculous. This is beautiful.
Thank you for your work on this video. I appreciate you. Bro, and then you see FD Signifier in the recommends that Martin Luther King video.
Oh
That's how you know we on the comedy side of YouTube.
Was not a conservative.
The Babylon Bee is bad. Yeah, we on the soy pill.
Let's go with human race problem solved. I'm surprised this guy does have either a black husband or a black bull for his wife. LOL.
What's the reply? Somebody mad?
Is this always your immediate thought when racism is discussed? Sounds like you're projecting your porn watching habits. Right. Gaslight.
Okay, 0, I one.
Right.
But who brought up white people first? Who brought up black people first? The guy who made this video. He's talking about other people for no apparent reason.
Hard to explain something that doesn't exist. Oh, this the one right here.
Good thing that what he's explaining does exist, which is why there's a word for it, which is why he has to explain. Shut the hell up.
Oh man, this is it right here.
Love finding. My favorite thing to do on YouTube is find the base.
The base comments. It's beautiful.
It's like a game.
Why not call it economic discrimination? Implying all iniquities are due to racism. We can't directly measure if some cultures produce better economic results, but we can look at Jews and see economic success in America while being discriminated against. Right. And each group still has disparities when you apply for poverty. Systemic discrimination is a lazy and divisive label. I would try to find some sources. You should have found sources before you commented, buddy.
Just stop. It's about to be some BS.
No. You should.
Systemic racism against minorities does exist. Happy MLK Day. What's happy about that?
Right, you're happy to be oppressed.
The heck? Is this what MLK would have wanted?
If you found reason to deny these truths, you are racist.
Click on his profile. Click on his profile.
Come on now.
Is that him?
This a mugshot, bro?
But he's oppressed, right? While he out here doing, who knows?
This is amazing. 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 I'm enjoying these comments. No, it's not.
They know it's not the same. If it were the same, they would have the same name. Why is it called something else? Because it's something else. Like, that's like saying ice and water are the same thing. Are ice and water the same thing?
No.
They're
both H2Os. They have the same properties, but they're in different states.
If it started raining ice, people would be upset.
Right. Can you talk about the Israelites, not the Israelis?
Okay. Summary of this video is people of color are less than white because therefore they need a handout to be at white people's level. The fact that this white liberal calls affirmative action positive discrimination with a straight face says it all. And this guy is a clown. Let's see the replies. I'm sure they're mad.
That's completely different
from what was in the video.
Look,
it's so weird to see anyone deny systemic racism when you can find documented sources proving it's real. Like what? Like Ta-Nehisi Coates? Oh look, some crime outside.
Right, crime outside.
And it's negative 30 degrees outside. Let's just assume it was the ambulance.
Why are outcomes used as proof of systemic racism? Outcomes are not necessarily evidence of systemic racism. Men are arrested more than women. This is proof of sexism, of our sexist system that clearly favors women. Men die sooner. Systemic sexism. Men kill themselves more often. Yeah, see? Yep. People can see through the BS.
Just not enough people.
White privilege is the only thing separate from anything touched upon in this video. Its effects are felt in spite of economic. See, this would almost be a better case saying that it's in the judicial system, as in they get less if they get booked for the same stuff. But the fact is, you don't have, or you rarely have cases where you have the same judge.
Identical.
Right, identical. You don't.
Because this thing have a record.
Right, you don't have the same judge, two cases, same tries, two different people, similar backgrounds. Variables. It's not. You can't even compare it. You can't compare it.
But, like, remember that we had that dude over who was on a podcast and he claimed that he talked to criminals. What happened to him? I wish we had that video still. That'd be funny to watch now.
Right. And the thing is, you talk to these people and they just lie. They lie. They will literally lie to your face to believe in it. They will lie to your face about being oppressed and that they're just so oppressed. They will lie. If you're so oppressed, why are you lying about it?
Right. It should be easy to see.
If you gotta make up a lie to go with this narrative that you believe, why not just stop believing the narrative? Because you want to be oppressed. You want to have something to complain about. You love your hell. Amazing. I really like your apple metaphor. It was horrible. That apple metaphor was horrible.
As someone who is black and lives outside of America, it's kind of crazy to me that videos like this still need to be made. They don't need to be made.
They don't.
Larry Elder is a
What?
perfect example of a menticide, the systemic effort to undermine and destroy a person's values and beliefs, producing internalized racism, oppression, and
What the hell does that even mean?
Keep Larry saying
Bro,
out your fucking
These
mouth.
liberals, what does that even mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's a bunch of fucking words.
I am truly impressed with this video. I became a subscriber immediately. I will tell my colleagues about it and continue to have difficult discussions around the topic. Click his picture. Click his picture. I gotta see. Eugene. Oh, you're annoying, bro. He be at his job harassing people.
Right. He racist as hell. You know he is.
If somebody showed me this video at my job, I would literally like report them to HR. Like, what the hell?
Right. You got to. What you trying to tell me? What are you
You think
implying?
you better than me or something?
What do you mean by that? Oh, you got a commie right here.
Systemic racism is caused by poverty, and poverty is caused by capitalism.
Commie.
I think for white people to understand systemic racism, we first need to understand white worker exploitation as well, and understand that white privilege does not mean that white people are benefiting from a racist capitalist society, but it's feeling less of the boot than fellow workers of other races. We can learn a lot from Fred Hampton and the Rainbow Coalition. LOL. Commie.
These people can't even agree on a definition.
Y'all know they called it Rainbow Coalition after Jim Jones, the Kool-Aid guy, right? Like a cult leader.
They can't even agree.
That's what I came from.
They can't even agree on the definition.
Wait, go click the timestamp where he said, "Tell it to Dr. Umar." You see that? 37 of click that.
Oh.
I want to know what he was referring to.
Hole need a ladder.
3704.
Of us. No, man. The people in the hole need a ladder, need a rope, something to help them. And just because some do make it out of the hole and get plenty of apples, doesn't mean the hole isn't there, and doesn't mean the problem doesn't exist. That's the apple picking fallacy.
Just because you successful, you still a nigga.
That's what he just said.
You still a nigga.
Still nigga. Like nigga, dark nigga.
Just because you made it up, you get all uppity, you still a nigga. This is what they're saying. This is what they. This is. I'm
On
done.
his face.
I'm done. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. This man literally said, just because you made it, you still a nigga. You still needed a lot. You still. Hold on,
Join
bro.
the rest of us. No, man.
Hold on. No to boot. He said, "No, don't pull yourself up by the bootstrap."
The ground. Need to stop pretending like there isn't a hole and that there aren't people down in it. We need to stop telling the people down in the hole to just climb out and join the rest of us. No, man. The people in the hole need a ladder, need a rope,
They need us.
something to help them. And just because some do make it out of the hole and get plenty of apples, doesn't mean the hole isn't there, and doesn't mean the problem doesn't exist. That's the apple picking fallacy after
The
all.
problem. So you say that? What's the problem exactly? The fact that you're black? That's what he just said. I can't believe people are watching this and they're not hear what this dude is saying.
Bro, this
He
double
thinks he's
speak
better.
is amazing. He's literally talking like he's trying to help you or he's educating you. But he's telling you that you ain't gonna never be saved, even though you make it out the hole and get tons of apples or whatever. Bro, he's not even happy that the nigga made it out the hole. He wants you to still be in the hole so he can have a savior complex and save you. He thinks he's better than you. I need to read some more of these comments. I'm gonna end this soon, but it just got too good. It got too good. This is
Wait. Scroll back up. How to solve systemic racism. Give black people their father figures. Racist narrative that can be traced back to the logic utilized by American colonialists.
And he got ratioed for that.
What are you talking
He
about?
got ratioed for that.
Bro, what? Bro, what?
Oh my
God.
He got ratioed for that. This dude just pulled some shit out of his ass and he ratioed him.
It's a bunch of commies watching this. But yeah, y'all daddies being in y'all homes would help a lot of these issues precisely, especially the poverty. That's the underlying problem. It's because these single moms are doing OnlyFans. They don't have any money. Those are poor.
Black guy getting happy to let a white man school him.
Glad you did this video. This is such a complicated issue. Like many civil rights activists have said, racism is woven into the fabric of America. Almost every system in America cuts the legs off of the people that are not white. As you pointed out, everything is harder.
This is
Susan, we don't need your fucking sympathy.
This is commie behavior. If racism is woven into the fabric of America, the only way to undo racism is to undo America. These people want a communist utopia. They trying to destroy America. It's right here. It's clear as day. To destroy racism, you have to destroy America.
A video about systemic racism not talking about the relentless anti-white warfare and ongoing cultural eraser? No thanks. That's a base comment. Because there is a lot of anti-white warfare going on. It's normalized to be racist. Look how many replies that got, though. Tell you what, you make a video about what culture is being erased.
I will.
Believe it when I say
I will, exactly.
I'm white as hell, and even I know most of what we have for culture here came from other places and other people. There's nothing about white culture worth saving because there is no white culture in the first place. Well, that dude has a lot of self-hate. Because it's not happening. You just want to be a victim so bad, like those BLM rioters. Blaming others for your problems sure is popular nowadays. Snide remarks or jokes aren't oppression. So being racist isn't oppression, apparently. Because it's not just snide remarks, it's people being racist.
Racism in gaming. These black guys.
I'm subscribed to that guy, too.
Oh, man. This is fun. These people are. This is satire, right? It can't possibly be serious. What's wrong with it? Look, they're just getting ratio.
Like his comment, you gotta support the one.
Oh.
You might get somebody else to curse.
Shut up.
In the real world, nobody cares about excuses. No matter what difficulties, obstacles, etc. that you encounter in life, you have the opportunity and obligation to overcome. Just about everyone is dealt a bad hand in life in some way or another. Whether you're poor or you live in the middle of nowhere, or if people are prejudiced against you, it's not an excuse for not succeeding in life, or at least living a normal, productive life. So what if life is extra tough for you? Not you personally, I'm just speaking generally. That just means you have to be extra tough and extra smart. Does it sometimes mean you have to work twice as hard for the same result? Yep. Is it fair or nice? No. That's life. Everyone is in charge of their own decisions and their own destiny. And for context, I'm not some privileged schmuck. I grew up piss poor and was even homeless for a while. I worked my ass off and made a good life for myself. Nice spiel, but none of that disproves systemic racism, which does exist and affects minorities in America. Ratio. You can believe whatever you want, but that attitude only perpetuates the cycle of a crybaby victimhood. No, it explains real world problems happening in our society and gives people a chance to fix them. Sure, some people may use it as an excuse to give up, but if we fix those issues, there's no harm, no foul. People have to fix their own problems. Anyone who is waiting for some magic solution to be handed to them will be forever waiting. The just take responsibility, bro, when he gets an easier start by not being born in a broken family.
The man just said he was.
Assume that.
He just said that he's
grew white.
Up hard.
No, he's white. No, he's white.
He didn't even know he's white.
He's white. He said he's white. Didn't he?
Did? No.
He
didn't say he was white.
All right, he didn't even say he was white.
He
so
said
they just
he
assuming.
grew.
They don't even know if this guy's white.
He said he grew up piss poor, and was even homeless. But then this dude is telling him, "Shut up. It's still a problem."
They don't want to hear reality. Nowadays, a lot of places are looking for people to take up a job, but sadly, black people tend to not want to stay at a job as much as white people based off what I've seen and heard throughout my life.
Simple as that.
Buddy, that's anecdotal, not based on any empirical data. Bro, this person is all under the comment. It's like a fifth-sided comment. They don't want to accept reality. Communist professor defends Stalin and Mao. On the side. Capitalist. Just the fact that these are in the recommends is crazy.
Right. This dude is a commie. All the commie stuff is popping up.
Good job, Mr. B. It takes courage to make this kind of video in 2024 America. No, it doesn't.
really
It
does.
literally
He's
does.
literally saying the same thing everybody else is saying. Hello there. Racism is not wholesome Reddit moments.
What?
Oh, wait. What's going on? Latvia? Okay. Racism is not wholesome Reddit moment. Francis Parker.
Too stupid to understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand what
I
you're trying
don't.
to
I don't
say.
understand the comment. Can you?
You want a quote?
Yeah. It seems like
Well,
it's
it is
a
a
quote.
said it's a quote.
It is a
Racism
quote.
is not wholesome. Reddit moment. I don't get it.
Yeah, either.
Oh well, keep scrolling.
Racism is not wholesome. Okay.
Hello, this is the first time. This is my first time seeing your content. When the video started, I was guarded and awaiting your best Ben Shapiro impersonation. Boy, was I wrong. I greatly appreciate your careful and thorough deep dive on the topic. I look forward wanting to consume the rest of your content. Thank you for this video. So you're saying that, one, wealthy black people face housing discrimination. Two, any black immigrant who was wealthy must have bought their wealth into America and they couldn't have built it here? Two excellent questions. But of course,
He gets ratioed by a comment.
did you even watch the video? Did you even ask that question?
Yes, even black celebrities face housing discrimination. You don't even know that.
Just made that
Just
up.
made it up.
You can build wealth in America, it's just harder without having wealth prior.
Well, duh, motherfucker.
But nonetheless, there are immigrants better off than a lot of niggas over here. Black ones, Nigerian ones. So what's going on with them? Why are they able to be so established? Is it because they have better culture? Some of the most funded school systems are in black Democratic run cities and they perform the worst. Must be racism. Yeah, like here. Where they just reported that they stole how much in Chromebook computers? Like, that's where all the funds are going. But they talking about we don't get any funds.
Blacks just suck at money. I mean, hey, they get money. They spend the most of it.
I'd like to see Ben Shapiro respond to this one. Great video.
Ben Shapiro not gonna waste his time.
So you're saying that black people aren't smart enough to help themselves? That mindset is part of the problem, right? Come on, poverty to be about. Okay, let the poor people in your house first. Let the homeless in your home. Let them in. What you waiting on? Go to that reply to where you said you're saying that black people aren't smart enough to help themselves. Idiotic comment. At no point in this video was that. It was said throughout the entire video. The entire video implied that black people are inferior. Explicitly. Down to his visual. Where he literally showed the black person in the ground. The white people kicking him. This person, this Midwest, I can't even see. Whatever. The weird anime person is a con.
It's them. I mean,
Come on now. Awesome video. How did Oprah and Obama overcome? That's the same guy. Why can't other black people do the same? Culture. There is no culture in the black community to bring everyone down. Fuck my baby dad. Exhibit A. Like, not every white person is going to be Elon Musk. Elon Musk is African. Who has massive amounts of generational wealth because of the emerald mine his family owns. Not every black person is going to be the next Oprah. It's just that even if it's hard to get that level... It's just that even if it is hard to get to that level, in most cases, black people have to work even harder. Without a full family, extreme poverty, and bad education.
why do they have to work harder? Why do they
Because
have to
they
work
don't
even
have
harder?
they don't have a full family. They're extremely poor and they have bad education. And whose fault is that? The mammies. The mammies. Why do they have a full family? Did their mom get married before she was? Never mind. Fatherless homes in the black communities are because of the welfare system, not incarceration. How, Dave? What do you mean how? This comment makes no sense. You people always say fatherless homes are as a new way to say black people or some racial undertone. What? Besides, the point most people on welfare are because of the father being incarcerated due to police patrol in areas of POC. This just proves the point even more, don't you think? No, I don't think.
Bro, they act like people are just getting snatched off the streets.
Bro.
Look at this dude.
Oh, it's all with the grown men. In the comments crying, that's how the creator is.
Percent of the murder.
I can't believe it.
How do you see how many people watching? How do you see who's watching?
I don't know.
That's weird. Thank you for being an ally. A lot of it seems like a cultural issue on black folk in America. They glamorize rappers, killers, drug dealing. That pair with not having a father figure can lead any young man down a bad path, leading to this, quote, systemic racism. Thank you, Flyby Gaming 9678. You have a damn brain. But of course, he hasn't gotten attacked by the commies. I guess they got tired of scrolling. They can only, correct for 10 people. Black Lives Matter until you can run away scot-free with all the charity money. Uh-oh. I'm a brown guy who likes and supports the existence of this white YouTuber guy. You don't look brown to me. Click on him.
Dude look gay.
You are not brown.
It's not a real photo. It's not real. Wrenching 666.
Oh, it's a child.
Guys, demon.
Percent of the murder.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Big Brandon over here.
Wait! Go back up. I am Caucasian, and I think there may be pockets of society that are racist. I don't see it as prevalent. I am homosexual. Again, I think we are less homophobic society now, but there will always be pockets of homophobia within the grand social network of society. In other words, I think people are becoming generally more compassionate and understanding of what is different from them. The world is spiritually evolving. Affirmative action is wrong. I would not expect to be treated better than heterosexuals because of past homophobia. What is right to treat everyone with an equal vision, in the words of that person?
I don't know. Yeah,
Okay,
affirmative action is wrong.
Sorry, Brandon.
Yeah.
Mr.
Treat everybody.
Well,
I don't know about treat everybody equal, but treat people how you want it to be treated. You can treat them how you want to be treated.
affirmative action is not racist in my mind. I consider it needed reparations towards the human species' societal equity. What the hell are you talking about? You see, you really be thinking that eight. How did Hindus and Asians escape racism in America and excel? Excellent question. And notice how he just never answered that question.
Yep.
Larry Elder asked that. Larry Elder asked the same question, and that dude literally didn't answer it. You are part of the problem, Mr. B. You are a racist. You are a true blue Democrat racist. You tell black people that they're incapable of functioning in society. You're a racist. Yet you try to blame all white people. Let's go, Brandon. Of course.
Oh, I'm on the wrong. I need to be on this.
Consider that New York.
This one I need to be commented on with this page.
This guy's a racist. And they eating him up in the comments. He know.
Yeah, this guy's clearly a racist. He is a racist.
Larry, oh wait, we already read that one. I just see Larry's name.
Guy's a racist. If you can't see that he's a racist, then you're exactly the type of black people that he's talking about. Yeah. Maybe if you're not even black. Obama could have been the greatest parent when it comes to race relations, but as soon as he got in the office, he started with divisiveness.
This is the same guy. Dave Shearer, 1961 is base. I think you a bot around. Because it's type with apostrophes.
Uh-huh. Damn, I can't. Whose man is this?
You mentioned that Black Americans are less likely to have an ID to vote, but you did not mention how the system that is in place makes it harder for some people to get their ID over others. How? How is it hard to get an ID? Is everybody not going to the same DMV? Most Black and Latino people do not have IDs to begin with. The reason why it's so difficult for Black Americans to get an ID is due to the cost. The cost?
$30 is too much.
These niggas can buy weed.
You don't got $30.
$30
You can buy some weed, but you ain't got $30.
People in poverty. Although $30 may not seem negligible, it would be the difference between eating and being able to vote for. Bro, they ain't full of ish.
Bro, they think you just so poor. You just
These
can't
eat
possibly get an ID. You just so poor that you can't even afford to wake up in the morning.
Every white person should watch this video. I'm a Black man. This was not for us. We lived this. Hyper aware. Thank you, Mr. B, for your diligence and honesty. Click on his page.
This guy's a coon. This is a coon right here.
Click on him.
All right, he got that nigga.
Percent of the murder. Explain
Poverty.
Poverty. Look at it. He's just poor. Poverty. You're poor. You're poor. You're poor. You're poor. Oh my goodness. This is goddamn beautiful.
We ain't poor.
This is goddamn beautiful.
Somebody said, Mr. B, give me money, please. I mean,
Yeah,
shit,
so-
since you want to help us.
Right.
Cash up me right now. Get rid of communism. I mean, capitalism. These people need to leave America. Go to Zimbabwe.
Now you are common.
Affirmative action was hijacked by white women who benefited from it most. Black Americans are not people of color. That sounds like the 2020 version of color. People of color is a term that white liberals made up to group ethnic people alongside Black America.
Ooh, based.
Excellent video, dude. You just changed my mind. On what exactly? So now he's gonna think he's better than white Black people? Or he's gonna think that he's bitch trigger you, baby. Shut up! These people are so stupid. Those people with the anime, I can't even see their profile picture. To act as if systemic racism doesn't exist is to act as if the Civil War wasn't about slavery. It's quite literally the definition of the American ignorance. What?
Word salad.
The comment by Ben Shapiro, a population that 13% commits 50% of all crime in America, is mathematically impossible. He thinks anyone who's so-called Black is a criminal. That assumption alone, that nigga is whoever wrote this is a criminal.
Yeah.
That assumption alone reveals the flaw in his prodigious ignorance about obtaining truths to understand the reality that he and another. I'm not reading all this, bro. This is too much.
It's a fact that 13% of the population.
He said it's mathematically. Look at
It's
him.
a
Look at
fact.
this man. That could be your dad.
Right. It is a fact that 13% of the population is committing 50%
No, it's
of
impossible.
the crime. It is a fact.
He said it's mathematically.
It's mathematically impossible. No.
How is
It's
it mathematically impossible?
That does. What do you mean? Explain how it's impossible. Explain, because you can kill more than one person. You can, like, what are you talking about? You acting like they killed everybody and it's impossible because there's a cap on how many people can just get killed. This dude's a dumbass. Oh my goodness.
How is it racist that people of color died from COVID more? Goodness, Mr. B, you drank the Kool-Aid. The replies, I don't know if it's racist exactly, but they'll suck. It's due to health and personal decisions. By this logic, Asians are systemically racist towards me or white people, and that flies in the face of reality. American Asians were put in internment camps and still do better on average than the race of people that intern them. Same thing with Jewish people. So what the hell?
So this guy's based.
When it gets to that point, though, guess what? Just gets ignored. Because Larry Elder literally asked, "How the hell is there housing discrimination?" And white people are at the top of the discrimination tower, the hierarchy, but Asian people are above white people. How'd that work out? How'd that happen? No answer. He just said some complete crap. I don't even know. Remember what he said? Bomb ass video. How is being unhealthy a racial thing? Last time I checked, that's a choice thing.
Exactly.
20 replies. They are there clowning.
Food deserts.
Yeah, okay, we live in a food desert.
We live in a food desert.
Not as many healthy food options, lack of education. Inner city schools are funded based on the taxes in that neighborhood. If the neighborhood is low income, the quality of education is completely different from a higher funded neighborhood. Okay? Makes sense. For example, in Chicago. I live in Chicago, but I have a master's degree. However, my mom put me in private schools because she knew CPS was poor education. Okay. Read more. Click read more. So she saved up and we moved. Going back to your statement, if Black Americans aren't educated on healthy eating / lack of groceries in the area, then healthy outcomes, aka social determinants of health, will be poor. And I see it firsthand because I'm Black. Okay, but you just said that your mom took the initiative to put you in a better school because she knew that CPS was crap. Your mom did what she was supposed to do. So why the hell are the rest of these people's parents not doing it?
Because they don't care.
Because they don't want to. That ain't got nothing to do with you.
And then your mom did what she was supposed to do. You're basically saying fuck what your mama did because everybody else couldn't do it. Everybody else couldn't do it. So, well, it's still a thing. Well, it's a thing because they're allowing it to be a thing. You go to this school because your parents don't care to put you in another school. Not because they can't.
And that's the same girls in the comments talking about redlining. But you also have to consider redlining, which was used to prevent Black Americans from living in certain neighborhoods. And that's where the cycle starts. Back to what I said, if a Black child lives in a low-income neighborhood with poorly funded schools, they have less access to higher education / being able to afford to go. Then factor in social determinants of health, then the environment, etc. They aren't going to build generational wealth. Systems have been put in place way back when, during Jim Crow, to place discriminatory
I'm sick of the same. It's the same stuff. They got so much to say of the same stuff. Repeat after me. Discrepancy in outcomes is not evidence of systemic racism. Men are not right.
But
he said the man never claimed that systemic racism was the only factor. He said poverty was the only factor.
And poverty was the underlying factor for systemic racism.
Right. That's stupid.
If reparations were to ever be distributed, you just scroll past it. Nike and Louis Vuitton would post record profits and nothing else of significance would happen. Pretty much. And niggas would get cars.
Yep.
MLK once said that you cannot solve the civil rights without addressing economic injustice in America. Your video on systemic racism proved that MLK was right then and right now. MLK was a communist.
Yep.
Can you explain what the backshots are? BLM is a liberal white American ran organization. Black people are just used as the face of the moment so they could hustle off their adversaries. Also, kept showing images of Black people as if they're the only group of color white Europeans have been racist towards. You could have included Asians as well, because America had things like Yellow Peril, which was directed at them. A lot of things Japanese Indians went through were racial as well. That's why they didn't start making major advances in America until after 1965, when their population numbers shot. After Black Americans fought back against systemic fraud. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop reading these.
Yeah, I think
I just can't. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, fake news. There you go.
I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I think I'm about done with these comments. This was fun, but these
Another
people,
woke maniac.
Yeah, these. Where? There you go. Yeah, man. This is why shouldn't be. Yeah, man. It's he getting ate up in the comments, but he got a couple of the confident commies in his comments, just like this. He got a bunch of the confident commies in his comments. Confident commies in his comments. Confident commie comments. I'm gonna bite off your series.
Yep.
Yeah, man. This. I think we done pretty much tackled everything we could tackle right now. This is amazing. This guy is a super commie. I don't know, man. It's ridiculous. yeah, that's enough for the video. We go, like I said, I'm gonna post this up. I'm gonna have some more videos coming for y'all. I'm trying to get this channel to 1K subs. We can get to 1K subs, man. That'd be amazing. This is the year to get 1K subs. We already over halfway there. So if you enjoyed this video, please share with your friends, family, lovers, kids, your kids. If you got old kids. If you had kids young, I don't know. Share with your coworkers. Share with your boss. Just share it worldwide. You know, I got the American flag in the back, and if you don't like the American flag, get out of America. Simple as that. So I'm gonna catch y'all guys another time. Appreciate the people that did tune in. Appreciate the people for dropping the hearts. Really appreciate it. Yeah, catch y'all another